Hey there, happy Sunday. Hopefully you had a great trading week. Just gonna go over the recap for this past week and some of the themes I'm watching for the week ahead. Again, if this is the first time you are watching this, all these are really just geared toward those who are learning about the stock market. Again, I'm not gonna sit here and say I mastered this. No, I'm just getting started. Alright. But pretty much the exact same setups I've been talking about over and over again. Pretty much the one you see in front of you. This past week has been a lot of constant themes with AI and quantum, and I always have to tell you that number one rule is really to follow the money, follow the momentum. You have to focus on the leaders in the stock market, because former runners can run again, as I always have said that. And most importantly, again, I'm going to say this in every video, focus on setups, okay? If you're doing something random, it's likely that you're not going to make it in the long run, okay? Again, this business, most people will lose in the long run. Most people never make money out of this. And most importantly, even if most do who make money don't know why they make the money. That's even worse. You have to know the why behind what you do. And mine are pretty simple, again, these flag breaks, channel range breaks, you want to call it, opening ranges, and really EPs. It's the same stuff over and over again. And this is a classic example of this. Because this is a classic example. This is the ETF. I have a much smaller account. Tesla is a great one as well out of this range break here. But the same premise, you have that big move months ago, pulls back, bases on the moving averages, and it has that clear range break. This is picture perfect. And I have a smaller account right now, so I traded the ETF, but it's pretty much the exact same thesis, as you can see here. And it was 5-star. And I missed the initial buy. You want to buy it as it's breaking out of the ranges, but I missed it. No big deal. Again, most of these stocks, as I mentioned, always have ranges along the way up. They don't just go straight up. They're going to pull back in some sense, like you see here, and have another range break. I shot my shot last week and it failed, and you'll see some areas and some trades I took. I'll show you. Just because the trade went the wrong way doesn't mean it's a bad trade, okay? If the setup is there and you take it and the trade doesn't go your way, it's still a good trade, okay? It's only a bad trade if you're trading randomly and if you don't stick to your rules. But if you have rules, if you have a game plan, and you take the trade and it doesn't go your way, that's fine. It's still a good trade. Again, stop trying to be right every time. This is one of the hardest things you ever do. Again, stop trying to don't focus on having a high win rate. Get used to losing. And I always see a lot of people on Twitter, I've been green 50 days out of whatever it is. I've been green 25 days in a row. Who cares? You think the market cares? No one cares but you. And leave your ego at home, okay? Again, I'm gonna say it one more time, just because you lost money on the trade does not mean it's a bad trade, okay? It's only a bad trade if it's not your setup, if you don't follow your rules, okay? And I've been getting stopped out on a lot of decent setups that I would take over and over again, okay? Like this one, I was aiming to swing this and it just stopped me out. This is 5-star, as I always say. Range break, you wait for the base to pull sideways, and you want it to really, the longer this goes sideways, the better. It's kind of building a flag pattern on the hourly, and that's when I saw it, and I shot my shots. Again, opening range highs, low of day is always going to be the stop on this one. And yeah, I got in around $20, $20.50, I believe. I was chasing it up kind of, and low of day was stop. And as you can see here, kind of did a reverse, did a whole freaking reversed it. It happens. It's fine, no big deal. And even I didn't trade it that day, but it just goes to show you something that happens. But I'm watching it for next week. You see how it's basing really well. Notice the strongest stocks base on the 10-day. Okay, remember that. The strongest stocks base on the 10-day. They surf these moving averages. Okay, that's the strongest stocks. So I'm watching it Of course, it's really much what Tesla, whatever happens with Tesla, is what TSL is going to do. So if Tesla happens to go over that range of 440, this is still setting up nicely. This is pretty much the exact same type of deal. It's the exact same thing. You know, most people try to overcomplicate things, and it doesn't have to be that complicated. Okay, sometimes keeping it simple is key. Simplicity is key. Look at this hourly chart. I mean, look at the daily chart. This is picture perfect here. Okay, this is the premise: the big move, sideways surfing, and you ideally want to buy it. It's the exact same type of deal you had here in this run up. You know, the exact same type of deal. And even here, even there, and I'm not saying it's gonna go to freaking 500, but this looks really strong. Look how it's surfing, and it's pretty much the exact same stuff. So on this one for sure, opening ranges and Tesla ETF, I'll watch it for sure. But same with the quantum plays, like QUBT. You know, I mentioned I got long this. The quantum, again, sector plays have been working really well. Follow the money, okay? I got long this as it broke out of this pinpoint at $20. Okay, look left, former runner, right? So the premise is there. This has ran in the past, therefore it can run again. Hot theme play. So everything's there, everything's aligning. And the first day I traded this, it was intentionally a swing trade, okay? And we had a gap down. I'll just go on the intraday chart. We got a gap down. I mean, I got long this pretty much at $20, low day stop, and we had a gap up. But I sold pretty well. Whenever we didn't gap up, I sold pre-market because it looked weak. And hindsight, that was a great trade. But again, I took my shot Friday. As it broke out of this range on the hourly for potential rerun, and no dice. It kind of failed. And again, sometimes, as I mentioned, that's going to happen. It pretty much broke me out, break even. But I'm watching the quantum plays. All the quantum plays are really just basing right now. RGTI, I would say, is the sector leader. So this one's for sure in a range. See how it's in a channel right now on the hourly, so just iffy. It's odds based. So I don't like how we have this pretty much topping action up here. So we'll see what happens. Again, I'm not trying to predict nothing. It's just, as a trader, your job is to have price alerts and have a game plan ahead of time. So sub 30, who knows? But if it goes over 33, who says this can't go higher? You know, that's for all the quantum plays. QBTS, same type of deal. They're all going to follow RGTI. You know, QS. QS is one of the ones I'm watching. I just love how this is basing. It's pretty much a lagger compared to the other ones. I just like how it's on the hourly chart, basing on the 10-day. So it's for sure one I'm going to watch. Over $13 if it happens to do that. But if not, then no big deal. You know, again, it's all about setting price alerts and just going forward. But yeah, that's pretty much just some of the quantum plays. Another one, which one of them is quantum? Let me think here. But yeah, last week was a red week. I didn't have a good week at all, but it's fine. It's just one of those things I'm working on. It's trading, you know. HIMS is one I'm watching for next week. This is a retail favorite. Again, look left to see the right. Love how it's basing on the hourly. Opening range is over 60. It's pretty much the exact same thing we have like right here. You know, you had that first initial range break day, then you had that sideways action, then the opening range break there, and of course you had that continuation a couple of days there. So it's pretty much that premise I'm watching on this one. Although it's a sign of strength how it's surfing, so we'll see. It's a backlist one. Over 60 on that one. Again, I want you to understand, all the stocks here are on my watch list. These are the ones I'm watching. It doesn't mean I'm going to trade all of them. It's just showing you what I am watching, okay? And yeah, it's pretty much all that. But I'm not going to go over all of them because I know like the most people don't watch this that long. But if you want, just pause the video and just look at the stocks, and you'll see setups on the stocks and learn. That's how you learn, okay? But I'll just go over some that I'm watching for next week. QMMM is one I'm watching for potential liquidity trap. Recent supernova. This is setting up very nicely. This is setting up a nice flag pattern. So I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch this for a potential day trade. Over 120. Over 120. It's gonna be a potential long. It has ran in the past. It's I believe it's a Bitcoin theme play. I believe it is. Or is it quantum? No, it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin Treasury has been a theme, so I'm watching that one. But yeah, I'm watching that one. Let's see here. I'm just going over. NVNI, I am watching as well. AI theme has been really another hot theme lately. And on Friday, I got long this, and it shook me out. Again, look at the premise. Recent runner in the past. Again, recent runners can run again. Daily chart, it's neglected. The volume is there, and the ADR is high. And we had a pretty big move already off the lows. So again, the big moves, it had a, bring this down. It had its initial run day, as you can see, and it went sideways. And I shot my shot over. I got long at 150 with the news of AI. I believe the news was something. What is the news? What is the news? AI first development strategy. Most of this means nothing. Most of these companies just put out bullshit to get their stock to go higher, to sell shares at the open market. That's how the game works. But again, I'm not going to go into details. Your job is to take advantage of that market inefficiency. So I got long, and it shook me out. It shook me out, and that's fine. The setup was there. I don't regret it. But I'm watching this. I feel like I feel like there's some shorts that are trapped in this. So over really 160, but over 155. I'm gonna watch this for potential long. Again, a potential liquidity trap is pretty much saying that like shorts are trapped in it, therefore they have to buy the cover. And this is not a swing trade. This is pretty much like a day trade if it happens, if it sets up. It can be a swing trade. It depends how well it closes, but most of the time it's just for a quick intraday trade. So that one's liquidity trap on that one. Same deal with this one, DDD. This is as well, I believe it's 3D printing. But I'm watching this because the short interest is extremely high. And it just goes to show you. Look at this. Most of these stocks all come down. This is one of the hottest stocks a couple of years ago. Look at this. At one point, this was at $55, and look where we're at now. This goes to show you, so you don't trust these companies. Okay, most of them are shit. So I'm watching this one. The short interest is extremely high, as I mentioned. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this go higher. So we'll see. I'm not gonna buy it now, and it needs to pull back some. It's just a backlist one. Hymns already been over. Not that one. No. Tesla already been over. SNDK. The setup is there. It's AI. It's AI theme. The setup is there. I mean, this is a 5-star setup. Congrats to anyone who did get long this. The volume is there. But this is really what you want to see. Look how it's basing on the 10-day moving average. So we'll see. Over 100, yes. But as I mentioned, I have a smaller account, but the setup is there for sure. BE, I'm watching for a potential reversion trade. Had a gap down. I could definitely see this going over 72, but it has to it's basing on the 20-day, which is a good sign of strength. But over 74, price alerts on that one. PL, this is pretty much, take a screenshot. This is what you want to focus on. This is what I do. Picture perfect. And I should be long this still, but I bitched out. But you have the EP day there, and the couple months I was going sideways, and the other EP day there, and ever since then we've been straight up. This is what a 5-star setup looks like. Stocks with momentum look like. Look how it's surfing the ranges. It's not random, it's orderly. And congrats to anyone who is still long this stock. With this method, you really just trail 10-day, and it takes time to get to that level, having patience, but the setup is there nevertheless. Jumia, no. Again, all the quantum plays I'm watching, as I mentioned. It's just right now we're in a range, so there's no need to try to force nothing. So it's being patient. The longer this goes sideways, the better, for sure. Okay, let me see here. That kind of thing. That's pretty much everything. Pony's still setting up nicely. I was long Pony. It kind of didn't meet my expectations. I thought we were gonna have a nice range break on the daily, but we didn't. But I'm watching it. Perhaps over 22 over this range. But it's another backlist play. It's an AI theme. And that's pretty much, I'm not going to go over the rest. I'm trying to think here. GTI went over, range is developing. But that's pretty much all. The main one I'm watching for tomorrow is going to open is really this one, NVNI. It's an AI theme, so I'm watching it. But I want you to do this. If you have FinViz, it's free. Go to it. And look at the biggest month gain. The month's about to end here, okay? The month of September is about to end. And just go on this, go performance, do +10. You want to see more, why not have more charts? And look at the stock charts, okay? You realize look at the past movers. Look at what made them move up. Look at the patterns. And it's pretty much the exact same things over and over again, And, yeah. Pretty much the exact same question. But again, you don't have to overtrade, just keep it simple, stupid, okay? As I mentioned last week was a red week. It's okay. The setups were there. I just didn't take them. I took them, but they didn't turn out the way I wanted to. Okay. But other than that, I hope you have a great trading week, and hopefully you had a great trading month of September. And here's one more thing, okay? As the month winds down, you see a lot of people on Twitter post on their profits. Okay, cool. Don't focus on that. Focus on you. Okay, everyone started the exact same position that you're in. They started from nothing. Okay, the big P&Ls, that's awesome. That's great, fantastic. But most people started right in the same area you are in. Okay, you can do it. Just focus on setups, focus on developing that playbook, and doing it over and over and over again. And again, when I say playbook, I mean something like this. You have to have something like this. Okay, use this as a method to learn this shit. These are the exact same setups I'm showing you over and over again. These are different stock charts. This year, I have one for every year. And it's just, you have to do it. You have to put in the work. You have to use the weekends to do something that most people don't want to do. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it, just focus on you, right? But other than that, happy trading. Hopefully you have a great trading week ahead, and I'll see you next time.